Hi, welcome to episode 27 of the StressKnits podcast. Today is August 17th, 2016, and I'm Stacy. You can find me as StressKnits on Ravelry and Stacy Elson on Instagram. So, this is early. Today is a Wednesday. I usually record on Thursday or Friday, but this week has been a little crazy for me in my personal life. Lots of interviews and just really exciting things. So yeah, I don't have time to podcast on Thursday or Friday without people around, and I just would rather not have people around while I podcast because I feel very awkward when other people are listening. So that's why it's a day early, but I've been knitting a lot. I feel like I don't have a lot to show, and that's just because I don't have as many whips as I'm used to having, because I have quite a few things off the needles. But before we get into that, I just want to mention that you can find show notes and ask any questions that you need to about this or about me in the Ravelry group. It's the StressKnits podcast, and you will find a link in the down bar, as well as links to my Instagram in case you want to follow me there, and I think I'm gonna start linking my Etsy shop just in case. Yeah, so that is that. There is a giveaway that I forgot to pull, and that's mostly because it's a few days before I was planning on doing that, so I will for sure pull next time. And yeah, so you just are gonna have an extra week to do that. So in order to win the giveaway, it is a skein of my yarn of the winner's choice on one of my two bases, and then I'm looking at my show notes because I actually have show notes this week, so that's exciting. But you'll also win a Tuft Woolens sock soap bar in the Fresh Air scent. So super excited about that. I can't wait to see who that is. And also, thank you to new and returning viewers. There are so many new people that are watching this. Guys, we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. That's insane to me. I remember being so happy when I hit 100, and I'm just in awe. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for all of the new people and the people that keep coming back and people that have mentioned me to other people. Just thank you so much. And a special thank you to Jacqueline of the Brooklyn Knit Folk, Tabby from Hey Sister podcast, and Ellie from the Goth Heart Creations podcast for showing off my yarn and just saying the sweetest things about it on your podcast. So thank you so much, ladies, from the bottom of my heart. I love all of you, so thank you. So there's that, and then the last little bit of administrative stuff is the Just Knit It Cal. So this is in full swing. It goes from now until the end of September. You don't have to finish anything. It's strictly a chatter thread, but it's just to give you that extra kick in the butt to knit something that you've always wanted to knit a new technique, knit with that super special skein of yarn. It's just a super supportive group of people. I love our community, and so just post in there what you want to knit, what you want to finish. For me, it was learning a new technique and finishing a sweater. So that was my thing. So I will actually talk about both of those things in a little bit. But yeah, so join it. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun because there are so many things that I'm thinking about knitting for this cal, just because there's so many things that I was like, I've always wanted to knit this, but I've always said, I'll knit it later, or I don't feel like learning that right now. But just do it, because it's just knitting, as Saratoga Knitting says all the time. So with that, I'm going to move into finished objects. I have 3. So the first are my, that is attached, okay, are my Molly Weasley socks. So So this is Nomadic Yarns, her trusty sock, which I believe is her 80/20. Or it might be her twisty sock. Oh, I don't remember. But it's her 80/20 base because 80/20s are my favorite. Yeah, and I knit just a plain vanilla sock because I love plain vanilla self-striping, and this yarn is just gorgeous. The heels are Knit Pick Stroll in the Rouge colorway, which is discontinued sadly. I think it's a gorgeous pink. But yeah, so these are finally done. They match pretty well. They might be a row off, but I'm super happy with how they came out. I'm so excited to add these to my box of socks. I do believe that I'm officially at 28 because, yeah, I keep forgetting that I have a pair of socks that Kemper has because I knit her sample for the Pixel Rise socks. So I keep forgetting that those even exist. But people keep showing them off and I was like, oh, I knit those. Those are my socks, which is super exciting for me. Like, makes me geek out a little bit. But yeah, so I think this pair is officially pair number 28, I counted earlier. It's either 27 or 28, so I'm super excited that my box of socks is getting so big. I cannot wait for it to be fall to wear socks with boots. So excited. And just to wear socks around the house without sweating. Because you guys, it's super hot. I don't know. Okay, so this is probably a little too much information about me as a human being, but my hands are just so sweaty all the time, especially in the summer when I'm knitting, especially with a whip that I'll show you. With woolier yarns, not superwash, my hands get super sticky while I'm knitting super fast. So I don't know about you guys, but I have to stop like every 20 minutes and go wash my hands. Because it's just, I don't want to stop knitting. I'm incredibly lucky to have central air, so I don't have that it's too hot to knit feeling unless I'm outside, and I don't like being outside when it's too hot anyway, if you can't tell with my paleness. Yeah, so I'm just super excited that it's going to be cooling down soon so I don't have to constantly wash my hands while I knit. But yeah, so these are done. I love them. I have 2 more skeins of Nomadic yarns in my stash. The Dobby colorway will for sure be the next on my needles because those are for me. And I have 2 pairs of socks for Doug going right now. And I need to start working on those. So yes, Molly Weasley socks. I love them. Super happy that they're finally done. So finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is something you've only seen once, and I don't know, I just felt like finishing it. So this is the Color Field shawl. Don't mind the wonky blocking because I don't have blocking wires. It's on my wish list. I've put it on my Amazon wish list because Doug and I share an Amazon account. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna start putting stuff on the Amazon wish list for Christmas because I need blocking wires pretty badly. I need to seriously block my Daybreak shawl that I knit last year, or this past year. I need to block my Atwood shawl and the Pure Joy that I just finished, and this one. These I've just hung from like hangers and stuff, so this is a little wonky, but this is it. My Color Field shawl by Kemper Ray, who is also known as Raybot and is the dyer behind Junk Yarn Yarns and the Junk Yarn podcast. So I love her. I love her so much. This was gifted to me by my friend Kayla. She gifted me the pattern, and then I purchased some DK weight yarn from my yarn supplier, and I dyed 2 colorways because I want to introduce a DK weight yarn for the fall. But I'm trying to figure this out. This is a 75/25 and I like it, but I think I want to go a more luxurious route for my DK weight because I don't know, I just really love squishy hats and shawls, and I feel like that's what I would knit with DK weight yarn. So I don't know. So I might go the MCN route. But this is it. I love it so much. I felt like I did the border wrong, but looking at it on the screen, it looks like I did it okay. But yeah, so I just wove in the ends right before I started. Yeah, so this took most of the main color, which is the bell jar. Sorry, I don't know why I put that on without saying what colors they are. So the main color is the bell jar. When I dyed this, I put a little more pink into it because I was thinking about changing it to have a little more pink into it. And I'm not going to, but yeah. So this has more pink than my usual bell jar. And then the gray is perfectly adequate, which I haven't dyed yet for the shop. That will be coming next shop update. Not the one tomorrow, but the one after that. So yeah, perfectly adequate in the bell jar. I love them. I'm going to wear this all the time. I just got a new jacket for fall and it is adorable, and I tried this on with it, as well as my go-to like green jacket. Like it's an olivey army green kind of color. Sounds like it's gonna storm. I don't know. It's been storming all day. But yeah, so I'm gonna wear this all the time. I highly recommend the color field shawl. It was a super fast knit. Last time you saw it, I only had 2 of the repeats done. So highly recommend it. The border it felt like it took forever, but it only took me like 3 hours to do. It was not horrible. But yeah, so I love this pattern, cannot recommend it enough. All of Kemper's patterns are amazing. I think I've actually knit all of them. I've knit her Pickerstrat socks, her Pixel Rise socks, and the color field shawl. She might have one or two more. But yeah, highly recommend the color field shawl. The last finished object is something I'm super excited about. I messed up some of the finishing, so I'm gonna go back and rip some of that out. But guys, I finished, is this the front or the back? This is the back. Okay. I finished my Gable sweater. This box is, I'm gonna put this on the ground. Okay. I finished my Gable sweater. Yeah, so here it is. It's a little wrinkly. I blocked it and everything. Little wrinkly because it's on my floor, but I finished it. And if you will notice, I don't know what I was doing there, but I messed up this little part with my finishing. So I'm just gonna rip the ends out and reweave them in so that there's not that giant puckering bit on there. But I love it. It fits, which is really exciting. I don't have it on because it's so hot right now. But I'm finding that I'm not a pullover person. I have a decent amount of real estate up here. I was very gifted. But pullovers just tend to make that part of my body look huge, and I don't like how tight it was here because it fits everywhere so well. The arms are a dream, and arms have always been my sore spot when it comes to when I knit sweaters. Maybe that's because when I gained weight in college, I gained a lot of weight in my arms, which are going down, which is super exciting. But yeah, so I don't know, I really love this. This will for sure, it's probably going to be my most worn sweater that I've made so far, just because my featherweight, I love it, but again, the arms are really tiny. I made 2 gray sweaters. I can't find one of them, and the other one I knit the sleeves too short, so I actually might buy some more yarn and just knit the sleeves longer. But yeah, I love this. This is the Gable sweater. I should probably talk about what this is. This is the Gable sweater by Hannah Fettig. She designed this for Brooklyn Tweed, and I knit this out of O-Wool O-Wash fingering in the Pearly Muscle colorway. It's my kind of purple. I love it. I am probably going to use this as a layering piece. I don't think I'll ever just wear it as a sweater because it is kind of see-through. Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but like it's kind of see-through. That's, yeah, you can totally tell there. It's a little see-through. A little see-through. So I'll probably wear like a button-up shirt underneath it and a cardigan over top of it because, let's be honest, I live around Detroit, Michigan, so it gets cold. It gets really cold in the winter, which I enjoy. So layering sweaters is a normal thing for me. But yeah, and this is a super lightweight sweater, so I don't think it'll be a problem. So I will wear this a ton when it starts getting cold. I can't wait to start wearing it. I loved this pattern, but again, I don't think I will be doing any bottom-up sweaters anytime soon just because of how attaching the sleeves went, and I wasn't a fan of the yoke decreases. But that's about it. I love it. Hannah Fettig is my obsession for every garment ever. Her and Jane Richmond, they have the knack for having super simple and classic silhouettes, and that's really my style, and I just need to knit all of the sweaters. So finally, after almost a year on the needles, this is done. Yeah, so if you like bottom-up sweaters, I highly recommend this pattern. I think I knit the size, like the equivalent to a medium, just because I wanted it to be a little baggier, and because of this part of my body, I need something bigger to create space so it's not like super tight up here and really loose down there, because when that happens, I look a little pregnant, and I'm definitely not. So yeah, I don't know, I keep folding this and unfolding it, but yes, gable sweater, I am in love with it. And I also, the O-Wool, the Superwash O-Wool, I cannot recommend it more. The way that it blocks, I want other sweaters of this. I actually think I might knit the Booth Bay sweater by Hannah Fettig out of this yarn in a different color. Yeah, I think the Barn Owl color is what I'm going to knit my Booth Bay out of, because that is the next cardigan that I am craving to knit. I am obsessed with it. And I have the Home and Away book, which I keep forgetting to bring. I'll show you next time, or when I cast on the Booth Bay. But yeah, I knit this out of almost just shy of 3 skeins of yarn, so I really love it. Yeah, so 3 finished objects. I'm so excited that I have those off the needles. I think I might have another sweater off the needles next week, just because my classic raglan that I showed at like the very beginning of my podcast, all I have left to knit is 8 inches of a sleeve, and I'm done. So I just might knock that out. I knocked most of that sweater out while watching the Olympics, because I love the Olympics, really do. Again, not super happy with like the politics going around with it, and I don't understand how NBC commentators still have jobs, because they've been saying some really dumb things. I don't understand. I just don't understand how they have jobs. But yeah, I knit that mostly while watching swimming and gymnastics, because those are my 2 favorite summer Olympic sports. Yeah, so all of that is done. Some whips. I have made a little progress on my Pebble socks. This is the Pebble socks by Mina Phillip I'm knitting them out of Gnome Acres in the Garden Gnome colorway. So here it is. These remind me more of Christmas than anything, but it's Garden Gnome on her sparkle base. You can see the texture much better this week. Yeah. So I highly recommend Mina Phillip's Beyond Vanilla Part 1 patterns. I cannot wait for her to release Part 2. I think the next ones, after I cast these off, I am going to cast on the Cobblestone socks. So I'm just really in the mood to get a bunch of stuff off my needles. I don't know why my inflection was that way. I can't wait to get a bunch of stuff off my needles. I'm the opposite of cast-on-itis right now. I just want to finish everything. So these socks, the other one is done, so I just have to knit this, and this pattern goes by super, super fast. So I can see this will for sure be done next time. But I'm knitting them on US 1 2.25 carbon Circs 32-inch. These are my go-to sock needles right now. And I want to knit the cobblestones on the same gauge. So yeah, there are those. And then I cast on something new, even though I said I don't have cast-on-itis. I just want to start participating in the Hey Sister podcast's hat knit along because I love them. I'm going to tell you what this is. So this is Starbucks cold brew with the vanilla sweet cream, and I just had no water. It's delicious. Yes. So I finally cast on my socket hat out of Brooklyn tweed. This is the yarn that I have to stop like every 20 minutes to wash my hands because it's so woolly and amazing, and I love, love, love Brooklyn tweed. It's just a little out of my price range right now for a sweater, but one of these days I want to knit a big cozy cardigan out of it. But I've just been doing the ribbing. I'm doing 1x1 ribbing because my favorite hat that's like a commercial hat is 1x1 ribbing, and it's essentially the socket hat. It feels like it's with it's probably like a lace weight. Obviously it's machine knit, but it feels like a lace weight, and it's 1x1 ribbing. So I'm doing 1x1 ribbing, probably for 2 more inches. This is about an inch. And yeah, so this, I'm super excited. I love this color red. It's showing up pretty well, but it looks like it's about to rain again. There it is. That is entirely color accurate. This is the Long Johns colorway Brooklyn Tweed Loft. I'm knitting this magic loop on a US 1.5, and then I will switch to a US 2 16-inch circular to knit the stockinette part. So I'll probably do this for 3.5 inches, and then do the stockinette for 7 to 8. Because I don't like doing the full 9 inches. It's just a little too slouchy for me. So there's that. I don't have a problem with Brooklyn tweed coming apart on me because I do this every time I knit with Brooklyn tweed. The last time I knit a socket hat for a friend out of the postcard colorway, but like it comes like it's fairly easy to break, but I don't have that issue. So there is that. And the last thing I did cast on, but I'm questioning my color choices, so I ripped it out because I'm not happy. This is the Squishy Shawl by Mina Phillip, and I went down a needle size. These are my Carbons interchangeables. I'm using a US 4, and the pattern calls for US 5, so that's what I was using. I was using Tulip Fields by With Pointed Sticks, who is my Indie Dyer of the Month. You guys go check out her shop. She has gorgeous colorways. I love her. Okay. And then this is Knit Pick Stroll in white. I don't know. It's starting to get this really bad halo that I'm not a fan of when I'm knitting with it. Yeah. So and then it wasn't enough contrast for me. I don't know. It looks like a super high contrast, but there are parts where this yarn leans a very, very pale mint, and it just wasn't showing up very well. And I don't know. So I think I'm going to try with a skein of junk yarn that I have had for a while. It's like completely dying. Okay, so I think I'm going to use this skein of junk yarn in Demelza on her smooth sock with this. It is a very subtle speckle yarn. There, when she introduced this, she likened it to a pretty bruise, and that's exactly what it looks like. It's this really beautiful mauve. Sorry, I said mauve because I am in a group chat with two of my friends from down south that is titled Harambe, so, because they're ridiculous. And I just got a text from one of them in that group, so I saw Harambe while I was trying to say mauve. It's fine. Yes. So, super mauve, mauve, I say mauve, with some super light yellow and some blues with this. And I think that they will go together, especially in brioche. So I'm going to cast on again using this as my main color and this is my contrast color. The Squishy Shawl by Mina Phillip, the La Moya shawl. Because I was watching the Hey Sister podcast while I was weaving in my ends and getting ready for this podcast. So I was watching them, and Tabby cast on her Marley shawl, which I love also. I've loved that since Laura of the Fawn Knits knit hers with Koigu, and I believe it was Quince & Company. So I've loved that forever, but I don't know. I just wanted to knit the La Moya shawl. But I saw her knitting it, and I was just like, I just need to cast mine on. So I was casting it on, and I will link in the show notes to the 2 tutorials that I found super helpful. I really loved Mina's tutorial, but for me personally, it was super hard to see what she was doing with the yarn overs and the burps and the box and all of that stuff, just because of how far away the camera was. And then this one, it walks you through it was the most clear for my learning style. So I'm going to link those in the show notes. Super helpful. So I was knitting along with this woman, and you guys, brioche is not as scary as it looks, because I was getting super frustrated by it. I've been trying to cast this on for like a month. Yeah, I was doing swatches, and then I was just like, I'm just gonna use the yarn that I was gonna use, because it's just yarn. I can rip it back and it'll be fine. So I think this is going to be it. I think it's going to be really pretty. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do. Yes, but I really want this around my neck. So if this doesn't work out for brioche, I will find another shawl to put this in, because I love it. I love it so much. Tulip Fields by With Pointed Sticks. Her yarn is one of my favorites. It's just so pretty. Then Demelza by Jet Yarn. So that hopefully will be further along next time. I'm not going to put that there because so with that, I'm going to go up into Dream Knitting or Up and Coming. So one, Tabby and Rachel from Hey Sister Hey. I'm gonna message you about this anyway. Probably. I might not, because I don't know. I'm really awkward about that. But I was watching their podcast, and you guys want to knit the Windswept shawl? Me too. I've wanted to knit it for so long. I have the yarn for it. I'm knitting it out of Quince & Company Chickadee, the sport weight, in the clay colorway. So you guys, we should do a mini knit along with us 3 and just knit it. Yeah? So that sounds good? Cool. So we should totally do that. And anybody else that wants to join, do it. Yeah, so Windswept, that's by Molly of A Homespun House, and I love it. It's gorgeous. And then, Doug might punch me. Not really. He does not do that. I don't know why I said that, because that probably sounds horrible. Doug will probably roll his eyes at me, is a better thing to say. Because this is a skein of yarn that I dyed on my glitter base. It still has this attached to it because I haven't cut it off yet. This I'm naming my Sweet Disposition colorway, which is one of my favorite songs ever by the Temper Trap. And I feel like this is just the perfect You know how you feel a certain way when you hear a song? I'm gonna actually cut off this ribbon because I have my notions. I'll show you that in a second, actually. I have my little notions thing. My Aunt Lisa sent my mom a little tin, and in mine I've added some stitch markers and stuff, but like the snips came with it, and like these stitch markers. Yeah, this is from Knit Crate. Sorry if this is loud, but this cute little tin, that's where I keep all of my little stitch markers and stuff like that. So I have like my French macaron, my glazed sprinkled donut from Sucre Miniatures, my Deathly Hallows stitch markers from Nomadic Yarns. I have my little snips I just used, darning needles, some simple stitch markers for like when you knit sweaters and you have to keep track of decreases and increases. So that's what I keep my notions in. But anyway, but you just have a feeling when you listen to a song, might just be me because I'm a dork. Yeah. So this is what Sweet Disposition from the Temper Trap makes me feel like. And I'm in love with it. So this is Sweet Disposition on my Sparkle sock base, and I'm going to keep this for myself because I have not knit anything besides my color field shawl, but I want a pair of socks out of my own yarn. So these will probably be cast on soon too. I just need to wind it. But yeah, I love this little speckle area. My stomach is making noise because I'm hungry. But Doug's getting off of work in like 9 minutes, so we'll eat in a little bit. But yeah, so this is this is gonna be cast on soon. I am obsessed with how this came out and gonna keep it. I was talking to my mom on the way over here, and I was like, I don't know if I want to keep it. She's like, you should just sell it. Nope. I love you guys, but this will be a repeatable, though. I wrote it down. I just really want to knit some socks out of it right now. Okay, so there's that. So I think that's all of my up and coming. So the Windswept with Tabby and Rachel, we should do it so that we actually knit it. Because I don't know about you, but knit-alongs help me stay accountable for my knitting, and I've wanted to cast that on for a really long time. So, yeah. And that pair of socks. Now, we're going to move into shop update. So if you're not interested in my shop, that is perfectly fine. Do not feel obligated to watch this. So if you want to leave me now, it was really nice chatting with you, and I will talk to you next week. For those of you that want to know what's going to be in the shop, let me grab my box and show you. So there are going to be 2 skeins of yarn that will never be dyed again. One was by me. I was going to call this impulsive, but it came out. I don't know why I'm starting to show you this. I have other things to tell you first. Okay. So I'll just show you the 2 one-of-a-kinds, and then I'll tell you what's going on. Okay, so this is on my favorite sock base, the 80/20. And it came out a lot like Dark Fairies that I came out with my first shop update. Yeah, so there's that. So that will be one of a kind in the shop. And then Doug's, I thought this watermelon was seedless. He doesn't like it, so he doesn't want to dye it again. So if you like this, it will be in the shop and not repeatable. Okay, so before I get into the stuff that is repeatable, I want to announce some things. So one, this will be the first shop update with my Sparkle sock base, which I'm super excited about. There will be 9 skeins total because I took one for myself. Sorry. So I will be having the Sparkle sock base and my favorite sock base. And the update, I don't know, I'm playing with my pen. It's a habit. Tomorrow's update is Thursday, August 18th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. there might be a slight delay when I'm activating the listings, just because I have an interview tomorrow and my mom and I want to check out a farmer's market that's going on after my interview. My interview's at 1:30. So if I'm still out and about, there might be a slight drag, so just keep refreshing. But it will be going up at 3 or just after 3, by the latest 3:03. So just so you know, so that's tomorrow. We will be taking pictures and stuff tonight. I will post a picture to remind you guys that that's going on. And then another thing that's in the shop that I don't have to show you is a few people have mentioned that they are interested in the Gilmore Girls sock club. So I'm going to give you a little more information about that right now. So this sock club, it's 3 months. It will be September, October, November when stuff goes out. Because my sister is getting married the first week in September, I am going to be in my sister's wedding mode. I don't think I'll podcast that week. I might. I'm not sure. It really depends on what needs to get done and if I have a job at that time. So probably not podcasting the first week of September. And this will be the only month that doesn't go out the first of the month. It'll go out the second week. So second week in September, first week in October, first week in November. So that way you will have your yarn for when the new Gilmore Girls season comes out. There will be 10 spots. Limited availability just because it's my first yarn club and I don't want to write a check my body can't cash, essentially. So, yeah. And the theme is Gilmore Girls, but for me, when I think of Gilmore Girls, I think of noises. I think of cozy. So for me, cozy is fall and winter, and when I think of Gilmore Girls, I think of the fall and winter episodes more so than the spring and the summer. So more muted tones will come from the sock club, and also warm and muted tones, essentially. So think very fall colors and very winter colors. I already have the 3 in my mind that I'm going to do, and they will be on 3 separate bases, but all of them can be used for socks and other things. So there will be one on my favorite sock, which is 400 yards of an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. There will be one on my sparkle sock, which is 438 yards of 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% gold stellina, and one on my base that hasn't been debuted yet. It won't be debuted for a while, but it will be in this club. It is my MCN base, which I have not named yet. I'm thinking it's going to be my cozy base because MCN is super cozy, which will be 80% superwash merino, 10% nylon, 10% cashmere. So those are the 3 bases that will be in the shop. And because those bases are different price-wise to buy from my wholesaler, they will be reflected as such. So the price of the club is going to be about $90, and then you have to pay 3 rounds of shipping. Totally understand that that is a lot of money. I've never done a sock club just because of how much money it is, but I've always wanted to, so I thought I would offer that. Yeah, so again, you don't have to sign up for it if you don't want it, but yeah, that will be going up in the shop tomorrow as well. Speaking of prices, there was a slight change in my favorite sock base. So just to reflect how much money I have to spend to get it, the price will go up $1. So instead of $24 for a skein, it will be $25. And then the sparkle sock, because it is a more expensive base to purchase, it will be $29 per skein. So, yeah, super awkward to talk about, but I just want to let you guys know what's going on. and be super transparent. Yeah, it's just more money to put out, so it just makes sense to raise the prices slightly. Yeah, so there's that. And then, yeah, so let's talk about what's going to be in the shop. So there are these two one-of-a-kinds will be in the shop. And then I will have 4 skeins of Bell Jar, 2 on my sparkle base. I love this little pink that happened in that one. 2 on my favorite sock. Don't mind this. These will not be attached when you get them, I promise. And some of them are a little wonky skeined up. They will look better. So yeah, 2 on my favorite, 2 on sparkle. There will be 1 skein of Killjoy on sparkle. So there's that. You can see the underlying base color right there. So there's that. There will be 2 skeins of Airplane Over the Sea. There will be 1 on sparkle and 1 on my favorite sock base. I love this color. I think it's super pretty. Sorry about box noises. There will be 3 skeins of Nemo Touch the Butt, 2 on favorite sock, and 1 on sparkle sock. This one is super wonky. Yeah, I love this color so much. I'm very happy with what is happening right now. And then all of these are repeatables, but there's only 1 just because I was playing around with new colorways. This is the one that Doug dyed. This is Hit Them With That Blue Steel look. He really wants a pair of socks on this. This is my favorite sock base. So it's just teals and steely grays. I love it. So there's that. There is 1 here. Actually, this might be an impulsive, so I lied a little bit. This, I was trying to dye my Sweet Disposition colorway, and I added too much teal. So this will be impulsive. I think this is super pretty, but I just have no desire to dye it again. Yeah. I wrote it down, but I don't know. So there's that. This, oh goodness, I don't have a name for this one yet, but this is repeatable. It is a very pale mint green with some speckles of gray. I don't know if you can pick that up. Speckles of gray. And then there's also some pink in there as well. So there's that. This is Succulent Garden on my sparkle base. Yeah, it was just the color of succulents. There are some spots that are super subtle and purple, like right there. Yeah. And then there's some more yellow spots. So this just reminded me of succulents and the different variations of colors that you get with them. So Succulent Gardens, and this also has green speckles in it. There's some right there at the top. Succulent Gardens. This is called I Believe, and this, ooh, I untwisted that. That's okay. That's very representative of what this game looks like. This is on my sparkle base. This reminds me a lot of Tinkerbell, so I Believe. It might be called I Believe in Fairies. Actually, it might be called I Believe in Fairies. So there's that. And then there's this one, which is called, oh, what was it called? This is on my favorite sock base. A super speckly colorway. Oh, it's called Simple Not Subtle, which makes me laugh. I'll open this one up to you because you can't really tell from that. So this is on my favorite sock base, but yeah, so it's mostly like this it's a very like buttery color underneath everything, and then you just have a bunch of these speckles that are yellow teal and my bright purpley pink color. So simple, not subtle. And then one that makes my heart just super happy. So I wanted to dye a colorway based on mine and Doug's wedding for a while, because we're getting married in January. I have not gotten a perfect representation of what I want it to look like. There are noises from the apartment next door, sorry. Yeah, so this reminds me much more of like the way, this is super cheesy and I don't care, but of the way my heart feels about everything with him. So this is called Always You, which is an Ingrid Michaelson song, and it's what I'm walking down the aisle to. So there are gray speckles, and it's just this very, that's the color, very pale pink with some undyed areas with the gray speckles. So Always You, he's gonna dye a colorway of what he feels is representative of his feelings about the whole thing, and I'm really excited to see what that looks like. This is also on my sparkle base. Yeah. It just makes me really happy. I'm knitting my mama shawl for the wedding. I think I'm knitting her a Pure Joy. She loves it so much. And I think this is going to be the main color for her. So I'll dye another skein. Yeah, so that is what's going to be in the shop. Again, that's tomorrow, August 18th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I really hope you guys can make it. If you are unsuccessful in getting a colorway that you want, just let me know so that I can dye some more up. I do custom orders, but just so you know, there are colorways that I've already dyed, and there is a $1 upcharge just because it takes away from my stock and my like creative process, which it sounds so dumb, but it's just dyeing things that I maybe wasn't planning on dyeing. So yeah. So there's that. Some stuff that's going on. It's getting darker outside. Stuff that's going on. Yeah, just I've been eating a lot better and working out a lot. So I feel better than I have in years. So that's really exciting. Trying to get ready for weddings and all of that. My sister's wedding is in about 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks from Sunday, I believe. So excited. Yeah, just getting ready for that. Getting ready for family to come in for that, which is super exciting. I haven't seen people in a while. What else is going on? Job interviews. So keep the good thoughts coming, guys, because I am just so overwhelmed right now. In the best way possible. I'm so ready to have a schedule again. I feel very, very lucky to have had a few months where I wasn't really doing much. I really got to recoup from the past 4 years where I was going nonstop. And, you know, I worked 2 jobs for most of that time, and it was just really nice because I don't think I would have started my shop without that time, because it gave me something to do and look forward to. So I'm super thankful for the time I've had off, but I'm so ready to feel like a person again and have that routine. So that's really exciting. Doug and I are doing more wedding stuff for our wedding, and yeah, so I don't know, I'm in that weird limbo stage where stuff's happening but not happening to where I know what's gonna happen. So yeah, so I'm just hoping that something works out, and we'll see. But other than that, having some dyeing withdrawals. Doug and I are going to order some more yarn today when he gets off of work, and then yeah. So I hope to see you at the shop update, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys next week. Thanks for hanging out with me.